The Disobedient Servant. In a quiet village nestled among green hills and sparkling streams, lived a clever young servant named Micah. He was quick and bright, always thinking ahead, but sometimes believed his way was better than anyone else's. Each day, his master, a wise older man with a gentle but firm presence, gave Micah clear instructions for his chores. He taught him how to tend the crops carefully, feed the animals, and take care of the tools that kept the farm running smoothly. At first, Micah tried to follow the rules, but soon he began ignoring his master's words. "I can do this faster my way," he whispered to himself, darting across the fields. As he rushed, the weeds grew among the crops, and the animals wandered far from their pens. Tools lay scattered, and the once orderly farm looked chaotic. One morning, the master walked through the fields to inspect the work. His eyes fell on the neglected crops, the stray animals, and the disorder all around. With a serious but kind voice, he called Micah over. "You chose your own way, and it has caused harm to our village," he said. "Your actions affect everyone here, and that is why guidance matters." Micah hung his head, feeling a pang of guilt, but he still didn't fully understand the lesson. The master sat beside him on a rough wooden bench near the fields and spoke gently. "I correct you because I care. Discipline helps you grow stronger, wiser, and more responsible. Remember what God says. 'My son, despise not the chastening of the Lord, neither be weary of his correction.' Proverbs 3:11. He continued, "Obedience is not to restrict you, it is to protect you. As it is written, train up a child in the way he should go, and when he is old, he will not depart from it." Proverbs 22:6. Micah's eyes widened as he realized the truth. Rules were not meant to punish him, they were meant to help him and care for the entire village. The next day, he worked patiently and carefully. He tended every plant, fed every animal, and followed every instruction just as his master had taught. The village seemed brighter, the crops thrived, and even the animals seemed calmer. Finally, the master smiled at him and said, "See, Micah, discipline is a gift from God, guiding us to grow in understanding and strength. As Psalm 32:8 reminds us, 'I will instruct you and teach you in the way which thou shalt go. I will guide you with mine eye.'" Micah felt a warmth in his heart. He had learned that God's loving guidance, even through correction, leads to wisdom and courage. From that day on, Micah was not just a clever servant, but a truly wise one, remembering that discipline is a sign of love, and obedience leads to blessing for himself and the village. What this story is about. This story, The Disobedient Servant, is about learning the difference between doing what we want and doing what is right. Micah is not a bad child. He is clever and capable, but he believes his way is better than the guidance given to him. Through correction, he learns that rules, instruction, and discipline are not meant to harm him, but to protect him and help him grow. The master in the story represents God as a loving father. Just as a good parent corrects a child, God corrects his children, not out of anger, but out of love. The story shows that obedience is not about fear alone, but about respect, trust, and wisdom. When Micah finally listens, the village begins to flourish, showing that obedience brings peace, order, and blessing. This story also teaches that the fear of the Lord does not mean being afraid of God, but having a deep respect for his authority and understanding that his ways are higher than our own. How we can use this story in everyday life. For children, this story teaches an important lesson. When parents, teachers, or guardians give rules, they do so to keep them safe and help them grow. Ignoring guidance can lead to trouble, but listening and learning leads to wisdom and trust. For adults, the story reminds us that God still corrects us today, through His Word, through life experiences, and through conviction in our hearts. Sometimes correction is uncomfortable, but it is often necessary for growth. Just like Micah, we may think our way is faster or better, but God sees the full picture. This story encourages us to listen before acting, accept correction with humility, teach children that discipline is an act of love. Remember that wisdom begins with reverence for God. When we apply these lessons, our homes, communities, and hearts can grow stronger, just like the village in the story.